Hello everyone, welcome to Cheongfuli Weekly Report. Here we bring you the latest China's steel market prices and analysis every week. This week, the spot prices of steel products continued to strengthen. The domestic spot price of hot-rolled coils rose by 50 yuan ton this week, and the price of rebar also increased by 50 yuan ton. At the macro level, the US dollar index has declined, and the market's bets on the Federal Reserve's interest rate cut in September have increased, leading to an overall positive macro atmosphere. Domestically, the Central Economic Work Conference mentioned anti-involution, and the market believes that there will be greater disturbances on the supply side of bulk commodities, and there may also be production restrictions in the steel sector. Coupled with the recent Central Urban Work Conference and the Political Bureau meeting at the end of July, the market's expectations for the demand side are also optimistic, resulting in a significant rebound in bulk commodities. On the industrial front, the weekly output of the 5 major steel products decreased, falling by 124,400 tons compared with last week, including a reduction of 44,200 tons in rebar output and 50,000 tons in hot-rolled coil production. Currently, among the 5 major products, hot-rolled coils are under relatively greater pressure, but steel mills still enjoy good profit margins. The inventory accumulation rate of other products is lower than expected, and production volume will continue to be maintained in the following period. On the demand side, the weekly apparent demand remains resilient, with an average weekly decrease of 127,100 tons. The decline in demand is in line with seasonal patterns, and the resilience of demand is still maintained. The apparent demand for construction materials in East China and South China remains stable, and the phenomenon of no slack in the off-season has led to the start of valuation repair for finished steel products. In terms of inventory, the 5 major steel products saw a slight inventory accumulation this week. Judging from the seasonal trend, the subsequent accumulation range may not be too large. This week, the social inventory of rebar and the factory inventory of hot-rolled coils still maintain destocking. In terms of the accumulation range of other products, steel mills are basically under no pressure. In summary, as we enter July, a month focused on macro factors, sentiment is bullish for bulk commodities. However, fundamentally, steel demand is already in the off-season, with demand resilience exceeding expectations. In terms of profits, steel mills still enjoy good margins for the time being, with no significant pressure observed. Meanwhile, against the backdrop of high molten iron output, price support from the raw material side has returned, pushing up steel costs. Since the mainstream shipping schedules for export orders of some products are already at the end of August or even September, exports provide strong support for molten iron demand. It is necessary to pay attention to the inventory accumulation rate caused by the seasonal decline in domestic demand and the impact of spot price increases on subsequent exports. Looking ahead, if demand for steel products remains resilient, steel prices may maintain a strong oscillating trend. For procurement, those with rigid demand can appropriately increase purchases and keep an eye on further changes in demand. From the institutional perspective, it is currently believed that there is no slack in the off-season. The low inventory of steel products and the absence of order pressure in July have become the basis for the rebound, while the slower than expected recovery in furnace material supply has also formed cost support. At present, there are no major contradictions in the overall steel market, and price fluctuations are strongly dominated by macro factors. Except for Tangshan, the extent of production restrictions aimed at anti-involution in the steel sector is limited in other regions, so further attention needs to be paid to the supply-demand relationship. To sum up, recently steel prices have remained stable with a slightly strong oscillating trend, and price expectations have been revised. Among the varieties, billets are recommended. Okay, feel free to leave your thoughts, questions, or any related inquiries in the comment box below. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to follow us for more updates. See you next week.